It's so good to see you. How are you? I can't believe I'm here. I was telling your husband, I'm like, I know all of this. Like, I feel like I've been here before.
Oh my gosh, Sue!
Let me take my glasses off.
Thank you for being here. You're making me cry.
Don't cry.
I know, I don't want to. Because this was so cool. My guest today lives life bold and beautifully across the Atlantic Ocean in Bermuda, and she is joining us today for Midday Chardonnay. I'm so excited to introduce my friend and just my entrepreneurship. We just go back and forth about stuff all the time.
We do.
And I'm just so excited to introduce to you guys Suzanne Khan. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited. She traveled in from last night and she's here on Midday Chardonnay to talk about her journey. And I could not have think of anyone else to just like reach out to and just say, hey, would you want to be a part of this project? Just because I value our interactions, even though it's through social media. We went to college together, and we were close enough where we could call each other up. We would be at same events together. And then, of course, when her time here in the States was up, she moved back home to Bermuda. And we've kind of maintained our relationship in that form. And so today I just wanted to, first of all, thank you for being here.
Of course.
And before we dive all the way into all the great conversations we'll have today, when the kids are in the bed and Azim is away on a golf trip or maybe he's golfing somewhere on the island, how do you unwind and what did you bring for me today for you to share?
Definitely a Pinot Noir. Like, I love something just simple, chill. It
That's
helps me to
bold.
wind down. I feel like red wine just helps me to like take the edge off. So we have Pinot Noir today.
All right, let's toast to that. Thank you so much for bringing it.
Of course.
Yes, that is Pinot Noir. That's good. So for people who don't know who you are, tell me a little bit about you and all of the different hats that you wear so that people can get a little glimpse of the dope person that I know. But see, I would be skewed and I would be like just bragging on and on. So tell me who you are.
So as Janelle said, my name is Sue. I'm from Bermuda. In Bermuda, I am a full-time consultant. I work with small and medium-sized enterprises across various different projects. I'll do anything from community outreach projects, so like working on courses and working with kids, doing internship programs, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, but I also have a finance background, so I do some finance-based projects. I help clients out with regulatory filings and things like that. And then for myself, I own a matcha company.
You do?
I am obsessed with matcha.
She is.
If anybody like follows me on social media, they know that I spend most of my days drinking matcha. The name of the company is Naked Zero Matcha, so it is free from any pesticides, additives, sugars, creamers, truly naked. We also have an activewear line that's about to launch called Naked Zero Active, and also skincare, so Naked Zero Skin, which is matcha-based skincare products. Beyond that, I am a mom. I have two girls that are 13 and 8, and then I have a 19-year-old bonus kid. She is just finished her first year of college. And I have an amazing husband who is quite busy, so we have quite the busy household.
You really do, and I just love it because I'm a mom to 3 girls, and I think that's another way that we connect.
Yes.
My children are much younger, but I look to Sue whenever my children will start going into things. I probably will be like, what is going on, and how do I manage like 3 little personalities
that are so different.
And they're so different. And I just love that we can connect on that front, and also connecting from just being like island girls, like my family being from the Dominican Republic. And of course, your relationship with your husband. Like, I remember the relationship just being in college. So tell us a little bit. I know, and because he would travel in. And so just tell me a little bit about like that whole, like how you guys met.
So I was back on the island for a summer break. So I would come to Atlanta and I would stay right through from August right until Christmas, go home for Christmas, come back and stay until like May and go back for the summer.
Right.
So I was back for the summer working an internship program, and he was actually full-time at that company. Bermuda's so small, so once you see somebody, you're like passing them all the time. So I would see him at different parties and things like that. And so I could tell he was interested, but he is a very like reserved kind of guy. But he was like making bold moves. Like he was like, "You're gonna be my girl one day," and I'm like, "Ease up, like what?"
Fall back.
So we just started to talk, and like he wanted to take me out, and I was very like reserved about it. Like, no, I'm not sure. Eventually, I gave in. I like to tell people he stalked me until I gave in, but I was interested too. And that was 17 years ago. So he used to like fly up and see us. He would come, hang out for like a week or whatever. So we did long distance for about 3 years. And then I moved back home full time. And like, it's been just him and I and the girls ever since.
Yeah. And he, you know, when you met him, did you know that he possibly had another child or had a child, or how were you?
So I didn't really know him because he's a bit older than me. So I didn't really know him. But again, Bermuda's very small. So everybody's connected in some way. So his best friend, my mom actually taught him and was like really good friends with that family. So like I had seen him around but didn't really know him. But he was very upfront from the very beginning. And that's what I always respected about him. He was like, yes, I have a 2-year-old daughter. And basically, if she doesn't like you, it's not going to happen. So for a while, I didn't even, like, he would share pictures and things like that, but he was like, until I know that it's serious, I am not going to introduce you to her. And I really respected that about him. I think that was part of the attraction, that his relationship with his daughter was so sacred and so important to him that he didn't want just anybody meeting her. And I mean, initially I was like, I don't know if I want to deal. I was still in college. Like, I was like, I don't know, but
if I want that responsibility.
Yeah, but he never made it my responsibility. I think that's what I respected about him. It was like, this is my daughter, and like, it's an addition to your life. Like, it wasn't my responsibility. And he was very sacred about it. Like, if he had her for the week, like, I saw him for lunch. Like, I wouldn't spend the night, like, until he knew it was for real, and I really respected that about him. So we went out on a date, he took us both to the aquarium, and he introduced us, and like, we bonded right away. Like, she was such a girly girl at that time, so she wanted to do my hair, and I did her nails, and I'm in college, so I'm like, we had fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun for me. And she was such an easygoing, happy child. Like, she loved to giggle. Like, she was just so easygoing, and her and Azim were so close. So it was fun. Like, we had so much fun with her. And like I said, he never acted like it was my responsibility. It was like, he did it, and he took care of her, and I just had to come along for the ride, you know?
Sweet. Okay. So now you're traveling to and from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And you guys are in a serious relationship. You're trying to finish out the last, 2 years of school.
Yeah.
And you're in this long distance relationship, obviously in college.
Yeah.
You have people also interested, and you're trying to navigate like what space you want to be. And did you even know that you were going to probably move back home? Because sometimes people go to school in a place and they're like, I like it here and I want to stay here. Did you know that you wanted to go back?
So I think for me, I was always a very like go with the flow person. Like, I would let the vibes tell me what I'm going to do.
you are such a vibes girl, seriously.
Like, I never had plans for like what I'm going to do when I go back to Bermuda, marriage, none of that. I was just like, I'm just going to let life unfold. Like, I have found much more joy in just rolling with it than trying to control it. Because I've had phases in my life where I've tried to control things, and it never works out. Exactly.
When you're pressed, it just doesn't work out.
So I was open to staying in Atlanta. I was open to moving back home. And then like as the relationship progressed, it just felt like the next natural thing was for me to move back to Bermuda.
That's so sweet. So then you guys decide, okay, we're moving forward in our journey, in our relationship. And what's the age difference between Azari and Riley?
6 years.
Okay. So 6 years, it's been Azari. She's doing her own thing by herself, only child for the most part, I guess, at least from Azim's side.
Yeah.
So now you guys bring in a baby.
Yeah.
How is she in this approach? Like, how does she take on the...
Azari was the most amazing big sister. She still is. Like, the girls worship her. And I mean, she lives with us predominantly.
Yeah.
So they're always in the house together. But she was the best big sister. And we involved her with everything. So we took her to all the ultrasounds with us. Because we were also young parents. So we didn't know what we were doing either.
Yeah, like, just come along, girl.
Exactly. So we would take her to happy hours. We would take, like, she just used to roll. So when I got pregnant, it was no different. She would go to the doctor's appointments with us. She would go to the ultrasounds. Like, it wasn't, people didn't do these big gender reveals that they do now, but like, she found out the sex with us. Like, we made it just as much about her as it was about, like, she would go shopping and we would pick out clothes for the baby together. And she's still, like, even now, she's at home with Azim while I'm here, and she's got her license, so she's taking the girls, like, she's dropping them off places.
That's so crazy.
They take her, like, it's so crazy. And wild. They all have their own little relationships, like, they'll go and do things without Azim and I. Like, it's so crazy. We'll leave them at home and they'll hang out together. It's so crazy.
It is very crazy because I've seen them grow up and I'm just like, they're sisters, but she has taken on more of like a sister auntie role.
Yeah,
almost,
she's so good with them.
Yeah, and I think it's just, it's a tribute to like you guys and the community that you have built around her.
Yeah.
Because she is so wholesome and she's so genuine, and there was no drama,
kid.
like there's no co-parenting thing. I mean, they could have been, but it was unbeknownst to her.
Exactly. We try and keep her out of it as much as possible. And I think, like, in full transparency, co-parenting is never perfect. It's never easy. I just try and be respectful of both her and her mom because they didn't ask for me. Like, Azim asked for me. Yeah. So I try and be as respectful as possible while still trying to maintain my relationship with her, because above all things, that's what's important to me.
And I just think that's so beautiful for people who are watching, that, you know, if they are considering dating a person with a child, that they just keep an open mind, right? Like, they're 100%. They're not like wasted goods. It's not like a tick. It's not like, it's just, they happened, and it's part of that life's journey, that it was supposed to happen that way.
Exactly.
But this person that you marry is still a good human being, and he's a wonderful husband, and maybe he wasn't the right partner for the previous relationship, but he tightened up and he was able to say, you know, like, I still want love and I still am deserving of love, and for you to see him.
Exactly. And I think he was always very open and honest about that relationship and all of that. And, like, for better or worse, it didn't work out, but he learned from it, and I get to be the beneficiary of the things that he learned. And, like, everything in life that he learned up until that point, and everything that we've learned together. And I think my dad had 2 children before he met my mom. So, like, having, like, half siblings and all of that, I'm no stranger to that. And whether there was drama back then or not, it must have been, because my niece is 3 months younger than me. Like, my mom and my sister were pregnant at the same time. So probably there was some drama. Who knows? But I didn't feel any of it, and I think that's what's important. Like, the adults keep it to themselves, and the children can enjoy, like, a very healthy upbringing, you know?
Right. So now you guys have had 2 children together. Of course, Azari now is in college, and she just came, which is wild. So you have Reese and Riley. So how do you now say, okay, my children are in a good spot to want to explore this matcha business? Like, you are obsessed with matcha. Actually, you're one of the only, probably the person that influenced me to just try it one time. I think I went to, like, Dunkin' Donut and was like, I'm gonna try the matcha latte. And I was like, I don't know if this tastes like what Sue would serve me, but I was trying, kept an open mind. But I love that you have found this calling. And so
Yeah.
what is it about matcha that you're so obsessed about?
So I think for me, matcha, there's a few things. Like there's the ritual of making it. Like I think if you're a busy mom, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a hardworking woman, wife, any of those things, those like pockets of peace that you get to yourself is so important. And so for me, like matcha, the ritual of making it became like a very like therapeutic kind of meditative practice that I looked forward to every morning. Like I always tease people who drink coffee because I'm like, coffee, you get out of bed groggy, like slap the coffee machine open and make your cup of coffee and then you wake up. Whereas matcha, it's like, it's a slow process. Like you're whisking your matcha, like you're pouring your cup of matcha, you think what you need for the day and like make your matcha based on that. And so for me, it's like that moment of like stillness before everybody gets up for the day and all of that. Like, and because it's like clean energy. Whereas like with coffee, you get the jitters, you get the spike, you get the crash, the addictive properties. Matcha gives you the energy boost, but without the crash. So it's like slow, sustained energy. And then it has all these like boosting benefits for like your skin and like brain boosting and all of these things. That's like, okay, I know that I'm doing something good for my body at the same time. And in Bermuda, there wasn't really a matcha culture. So I was like, I like this, but like,
where
how
did you discover it? Like, were you like in Vegas?
I was
like
in New York.
Okay,
So I was in New York.
I was like, were you in Vegas or something? Like, where were you? California?
I was in New York, walking around Soho, went into this like cafe.
That sounds about right.
Tried it, and I was
Soho.
like, I love this. Like, I literally like fell in love with it at that moment. And then every time I traveled, I tried to get it in Bermuda. It just wasn't the same. And I was like, where do I get this? And because I couldn't find it, I was like, I'm going to figure it out myself. I'm going to create it. Yeah.
Like out of there. Like you literally have matcha now on the island.
Yeah.
Like
and
it's yours.
I found a Japanese green tea farmer in Kyoto. And I wanted it to be, wanted it to be like female-led, organic. I had this checklist, and I just started reaching out, and I found, and actually she came to Bermuda a couple of summers ago. She came to the island.
I mean, duh.
Yeah, she like came to the island, and like everything is like harvested, grown, everything in Kyoto, packaged, and then they ship it to Bermuda, and then we distribute it.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That you like it has all fallen so organically,
and that's
pun
the
intended.
Thing. I do feel like when it's meant to be, it flows pretty easily. So people ask me about like, how hard was it to find a farmer? And I'm like, it really wasn't that hard. Like when I set out to do it, I was like, this is gonna happen, and it happened.
Yeah, like because we're big manifesting girlies,
100%.
and we're always talking through like our manifestation goals. And so when you were doing it, I was like, oh yeah, like duh, it makes no sense. So tell me about Naked Zero. Like I love the brand. I love your whole aesthetics. I love everything that you're thinking about. Just the getting down to the roots, a foundation of it all, right? That's what it seems like. But tell us a little bit more about.
So Naked Zero for me is like, it's a lifestyle brand. So I think we've talked about this, but I went through this journey where I was like feeling really overwhelmed. I had the two girls, Azari, Azim. We bought a house, bought a second home. I was working at a startup, and I just felt overwhelmed and burnt out. And I was like, something's got to change. And I had a colleague at the time who was very into minimalism. And he introduced the concept to me, and I was like, I wonder if this could work for me, because he's living the same life I am, but he is peaceful. Like, how is he just
peace.
like,
like
it's
that peace.
So I started to do my own research about it, and I started like decluttering and getting rid of things. And I felt like the more I got rid of, the more I found myself. And then the more I found myself, the more I wanted to get rid of. And so then I just started to try and build my life intentionally. And I just realized I had become a completely different person. Like I was so much more aware. I felt more in control of my life. I felt like I can manifest and like build the life that I want on my terms without compromise. And so I really was like, how do I share this with other people? So then I started Naked Zero Wellness, and I would use that as a way to like share my journey, the products that I was into as I was building this lifestyle for myself.
Right.
And then I got into the matcha. So I was like, okay, this is a natural next step. And then if anybody knows me, they know that I'm like a big athleisure activewear girl.
I know, we both are.
Like,
yeah.
I live in activewear, but I didn't want something that was like, you know, you're buying all things all the time. So I wanted to build my own activewear brand, ethical factories, capsule wardrobes. You can mix and match. You can dress it up, dress it down, throw a blazer on it with it for a meeting.
Yeah.
And I have been working on that for the better part of like 18 months. And so it should come out in July. They're going through the production line right now.
That's crazy.
And so I just wanted it to be like a one-stop shop for like women who are like me, who have busy lives, but know that they deserve peace and want to find it easily. And so like, you could go there, go into our blog and get tips and tricks. We have products to support the lifestyle. And so it has just grown out of my own personal journey, really.
Because there are so many women that just are going so fast, so hard every single day.
Yeah, I
and
really
that was
hate
the whole,
hustle culture.
It's
like,
a hustle culture. And that's why Midday Chardonnay came about, because it really truly is like the break in the day of the hustle.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be that you're sipping Chardonnay. It's just that you're taking the pause to remember to take the sip, or just to pause on life, because we are going so hard. And then also the peace.
Yes.
Like just being happy.
Such a big part
that
of
is
it.
so, when you discover like how important peace is, you no longer want to be chasing the hustle of it all. And then things fall into place.
R.I.P. girl boss. Like I actually
like rest in peace, girl boss.
do not believe in the girl boss culture. And I definitely subscribed to it at one point, but I'm just like, alignment is so much more peaceful. Like be in alignment with the things that you want, and it is such a beautiful journey. And for me, even if none of this works out, I absolutely love the process of it all. Like every day working on this brings me so much joy and actually so much peace that even if it never works out,
like if you don't make $1 from it,
I'm still
you're
happy. I'm still happy.
That's the ultimate
rather
goal.
than this like anxious energy of chasing some goal and like feeling like you don't know if it's gonna work and all of that. Like I'm just like, fuck that whole girl boss hustle culture thing.
Which is so funny because you kind
of
of starting a matcha business and then you're naked zero wellness. Like a lot of people would say, no, that's total girl boss.
Yeah, and I feel like it's the
you're like,
opposite. Like I'm
just doing what I'm passionate about, and I just have the ambition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, yes, you have to be consistent and it does require hard work, but it can be like peaceful, enjoyable hard work. And like work smart, not hard.
Like that is top tier. What would you tell someone out there that is sitting on an idea and they don't know how to go about the entrepreneurship world? Like, as much as you want to shy away from the girl boss culture, you have developed different businesses that have been successful and fruitful. And what would you tell someone that's thinking about something that they want to do, but they just haven't pulled that trigger? Because you are a trigger puller. So what does that look like, and how can you just tell people like what should they do?
I think there's a few things. Like one, mindset is so important when it comes to entrepreneurship. Like
For sure.
there will be so many outside factors that will test your business idea that you have to be confident in it. So you need to spend time with like your desires and make sure that you believe in it, because there will be so many ways that it will be tested. Like even with matcha, it's like, how are you going to compete with Starbucks? Like, how are you going to compete with these big companies? And it's like, but my vibe is different, and like, they can't replicate my vibe. And so being so confident in what it is that you want to bring forth in the world is step one. I think the other thing is like, you have to be willing to just try. Like there's so many like courses that you could buy. There's so many coaches out there, but nothing is like real world experience, and you just have to do it. When I first started out, I literally would carve out from like 8 to 10 o'clock when the kids were sleeping just on research. I would go on Instagram, I would order different matcha tins, like I would just do research. But then I set the intention when I knew that I was gonna do it, and like, you know, we talk about manifesting and all of that all the time.
That's
and
real.
I think that if you can put your beliefs in the right place, you can create anything. And so for me, I would say like, once you are confident in your idea, and once you've like done the research and like committed to doing it, set the intention that regardless, I'm gonna do it. and you would be surprised how the steps to do it unfold. You've just got to go with it. And like, you know in your gut whether you're making the right decision or not. And you just kind of have to go with it, because you could talk to 100 different entrepreneurs and every single journey is going to be different, and yours is going to be no different. So like, while there's courses and coaches and all of that, you have to trust your own gut, and you have to decide that you're going to do it and just go for it.
Yeah. You
They
just gotta
just
go
tried
for
it
it.
and they figured it out.
And the failure or failing is like really not failing. It's just like a different thing
not.
to like try again. Like, okay, this didn't work, but like, let me just try a different
Yeah.
route. And I love that you said that you use like the evening time to do research, because that's exactly what I did with Ivy Leaf. Like, I would just sit there and watch other interior design firms, and I would just
Exactly.
look at their websites, and I would be like, what is it about their website that I love?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so simple, or it's black and white, or
Yeah.
it's just the pictures. And I just gathered a whole bunch of research and then
Yeah.
applied it to my own website. And that is one of the things that people reach out to me about. Is like, oh, I reached out to you because of your website.
I love your website,
And I was
yeah.
like, great, because I would spend hours
much
at night
time,
when the kids
yeah.
were asleep just trying to figure out what made sense for my own aesthetics.
Yeah.
So I love that. So the last thing I want to ask you is, if you can go back to your younger self 10 years ago or 15 years ago, when we were in college,
Yeah.
living the dream, and like today, what would you tell that person? Like, what would you tell that Sue, who you are and what is going to happen? Or not like
Yeah.
a crystal ball, but like, what kind
Yeah.
of advice would you give her? Because we are so young.
Yeah, I think the first thing I would like say to like my younger self is like, don't be afraid to explore who you are. Like, living in Bermuda's so small, everybody knows everybody. It's sometimes difficult to like want to be yourself. And I think until I had kids, I felt comfortable with being myself. And I think if I would have explored that in college,
Yeah.
I think I would have had a completely different college lifestyle. Don't get me wrong, I had a lot of fun and like we did a lot.
Did we?
But I think just like spending the time exploring who you are, I think I would tell myself like, don't worry about what everybody else thinks. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Like, just enjoy who you are and explore who you are. Because all of these things that I found out about myself, matcha, minimalism, like manifestation, all of those things, like everybody has embraced it. Like, they're not like this, like, oh, look at Sue.
Look at Sue.
Yeah, like everybody has embraced it. And I wish I would have given myself the permission to do that a lot sooner. And I think like looking to the future and who I am now, I would just tell her like, you don't have to rush anything. Like, you are gonna get everything that you want and more, and it's gonna be better than you ever imagined.
It's so good.
Because I was someone who never, like, I didn't think about like planning my wedding or what my kids' names are gonna be. I just went with the flow.
Yeah.
And like, it's like the better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets. Like, you get to have it all and you don't have to rush. Life is long, enjoy the process of it all.
Yeah.
And I still very much feel that way. Like, there's still so much to unfold. Like,
There's so much to do.
you'd have no idea what the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years are going to be, you know? So like, just
And it's
enjoy
so fun.
the process.
It's so fun
Exactly.
to, like,
have
not know.
fun. Yeah,
Because-
and have fun with it all, you know?
I
Yeah.
love that. Thank you so much.
Thank
I love you so much.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. I just want to tell you that, like, you and I have been friends for a long time. I feel like we've always connected on
Yes.
just our morals and our values.
Yeah.
And of course, then you had 3 girls, and
You
I was
had
like,
3
oh my God, then I had 3 girls.
Yes.
And then our husbands are very much alike
Yeah.
in how they approach different things. And I just
Yeah.
want to tell you that, like, whatever your heart desire, like, you're going to do it. You're already doing it. And I'm just so proud of you, and I just thank you for making the journey.
Of course.
I told you that when this gets picked up, I will reimburse you.
Make sure you always have me
I got
on.
you. I got you. I love you. Thank you so much for being
Of
here.
course. Thank you.
All right, guys. That is Midday Chardonnay with Janelle J. Thank you for tuning in. See you guys next time.